folks, Jonathan here, working on our engine here. Worked on the rollback until it got so hot out I couldn't take it, so decided to come in here and do a little bit on this. Been picking up a lot of wrecks. It's just been busy as can be with wrecks, and I'm not sure why, and quite a few customer tows and garage tows. So anyway, it's amazing to me on this particular engine though how fast this thing's coming together, because I guess after you do it once. And somebody had mentioned that they thought that this looked like it was machining better. I don't think it has anything to do with that. I think it's got to do with I'm learning my speeds a little better, and how to get a better surface, and so I'm just getting better at it. And because like I said, I'm not a machinist, so I run into new stuff all the time. But this, because I've done it once, it's not nearly as bad. And the other engine I had to assemble, check everything for clearance, take it back apart, assemble, and the difference of this one is I've already know what the deal is, so I don't have to do that so much. And matter of fact, I think I bolted it together and took it apart I think twice, and that's it. So, and that's way less than the other one. But anyway, we've got our bore done, and what I did on this one, because this hole is actually a lot bigger than the one before, because the cylinder is a 1/4 inch bigger bore. What I done is I didn't take nearly as much off the case. I just took the minimum I had to take so the case would go together, and that kept me wider, and I didn't have to go real deep, counterbore into the side of the case on either side. I don't know if you can see that side or not, but anyway, so we used that Dykem, which is what I was trying to remember the other day, that from Richard. And then to get this thing in here, and I come down and I machined a little bit of the side when I had it flipped over, just like I done the other one. That way I could get this exactly perpendicular with the crankshaft. And then I flipped it up, and then I finish milled the whole top of it. But to get it straight in the vise, it was cocking back, so I actually I ended up using 2/1000 shim. I cut some strips and put in the top side, and that actually tilted it back forward some, so I was able to get it dial indicated in perfect. We dial indicated in back and forth and left and right, and got it perfect. Cylinder's done, it's ready to go on. I'm ready to stick the crank in. I'll stick the cylinder on real quick and just show you what it looks like here, and then we're going to stick the crankshaft in it, and for a test fit. We may machine on the crank first, I don't know. I've got to turn it down for the gear. I did get the gear in. Okay, I did get the gear in, our new Browning gear, and half the teeth is this one. Gives me 2-to-1. But what we're probably going to do, I'm probably going to use this particular cam. This is the one that was repaired, and the thing about this is I'm not modifying the cam at all, so I'll hunt up another cam later and swap it out. And the other one, the lobe, I could weld it up and do some grinding on it, but we may do something later on it. But anyway, I think we'd be better with this. And if for some reason this thing was to jump time, or them gears would mess up there, there's nothing going to hit. It's not going to hit a valve, especially with a pocket valve over the side. But there's no issues of that, so we're not too worried about it. But let me see. I'll get the cylinder and sit it on. Okay, we've got her on there, and we probably don't have it perfectly straight, but we've got it on there. That just gives me 4 studs to put in, and you can see where our lifter's at. So we've just got to have something coming through to push it. I mean, it's not going to be much to it, and I think this is going to work out really well. Now the side of it don't match, rounded with this, but we can do a little work on that if we need to. Anyway, that's it, and we'll go ahead and get on that crankshaft and see if we can get it set up where we can go ahead and get it in. And I might test fit it first one time, I don't know. Alright, show you more. Okay folks, coming right along. About through working on it for now. It's getting ready to cool down. I'm going to get back on the rollback, and just got back off the tow. And let me see. Got our gear. Well, come on now. They don't want to come off now. But it's just stuck on there. I got the crankshaft key and got that done. Got the gear board, got it broached from inside. And let me see. Got to make our bearing retainer yet. And let me see. We're going to come up with an idea. I'll show you here what sort of kind of idea here I got for this, for the valve timing. Okay, I went ahead and laid the engine down so I could try to show you what I'm talking about here and what I want to do or what I might be able to do. What I was thinking about doing, running a single cam, and it probably won't be in the center, probably offset just a little bit, but what we can do is pivot it from this side, or this will be sort of our lifter guide or our rocker, whatever you want to call it. But what we'll do is we'll actually pivot it on this side, and what I'll do is move this cam where I need to move it to get the right distance here, and we'll come through here with a lifter to be able to open and close the valve. It's not going to be much room for adjustment for sure, but we might come up with something to try to make an adjustment, but we'll see how that goes. You know, it didn't have an adjustment on it originally, and I'm going to check the other engine and see what the actual lift was on it. It's not a lot more than this, so we don't have to go much. You know, if this is our pivot and this is our center and this is where our lifter pushes, you know, the farther we move this cam toward this pivot point, the higher lift will get on this side. So, and you know, I'm not necessarily, this ain't what I'm going to use. This is actually one of my adjustable parallels or whatever it is. I'm just using it to show you, but basically that's how it would work. This end would stay stationary, and then as the cam comes, it'll pick it up and down. And anyway, that's a thought. You know, it may end up being that the cam is over that way a little bit, and you know, we're going to try to keep from having a lot of overhang on this side, basically, and but still get the lift that we need for this. Now this valve don't open hard either, so you know, it's a pretty soft valve. This, you know, the old stuff didn't use a real strong valve spring anyway. But that's what we're going to try. I'm still going to make the bearing retainer that goes in this side, and then of course we'll make it where we can, you know, our cam will go through it, the pin for it, and I think I've got some more of that 1/2 inch. I think I've got another piece of that 1/2 inch, and I think it's actually it's hardened fuel pump rod out of a Chevrolet. I think is what I ended up using, and that's what we use on this one too. Pistons in. We may have a little issue. Let me get it back up to where I can show you what I've got. Okay, as you can see, our piston here, and I'll turn her over here, and our crank in there. My only worry, I don't have the right size bushing in there yet. I'm just got a temporary in there, but I'm worried about whether this piston is going to hit. I guess if it hits anything, it's going to be hitting our hitting right here, and I may end up having to clearance a little bit more here. I went down far enough easily for the cylinder, but I may not have went quite far enough for the piston, and I'd rather do that than take some off the skirt of the piston, but that's not a big deal. But I thought maybe we was going to be hitting the crank, but you know, the weights, counterweights on the crankshaft, but we're not even coming close to them, so we're fine there. But let me pull the piston off real quick. All right, and as you can see with this one, it's the same as that other one, you know, free as can be. And our shaft's straight, but we do have a little bit of an issue on our threads right there. What I done was I cut that off, and had it in the lathe, and I actually recentered it so I could turn everything out. And my center is fine, but I think it's still bent a little bit at the threads. We may end up taking this down and retapping it to an American thread. And we're not going to put an impact on this one, so we're not going to break it. The only thing we're going to have on here is a lobe, and the points will be on the outside cover, and I'll set it up to where we can adjust them, well, not necessarily adjust them. Of course they'll be adjustable, but they'll also be where you can turn it to get an advance and a retard out of it. And so we'll do that, and I think that's about it. It's not, I mean, it really coming together a lot faster than the other one, and I think it's going to work out really good. It's nice and free. No problems there. Anyway, looking good. It's coming right along. And I did locate and get a Gravely T-head cylinder too. And that is 3 1/4 bore. So it's another 1/4 inch bigger than this one. It's going to put our valves on each side, flathead. So I sort of like a challenge. That's one of the reasons I've done that. So if we run our cams in here, we've got to be able to push the valves from over here up and down. So we're going to have to come up with some valve train, I guess we could call it. We're going to have to come up with some stuff to make it open and close and work right. But I don't think it'll be a problem. Okay, folks, I checked the lift on the other engine, and the original lift on that was 155 thousandths. And you figure we had 108 on the other ones. We got 105 just about on this, and so we're lacking 50 thousandths lift of what I want to be, for it to run like it ought to run. And so I may take the one that had the lobe worn on it and weld it up, and just grind it and just change the lift on it. I might as well. If I do that, then I can actually put this in line, and we're still going to make one cam follower, because this distance from here to here for a lift, like I said, I'm trying to take the side load off of it, so we can make one cam follower, pivot off of here over to it, and just like we did on our other engine, and then we'll just run a lifter and a push rod straight up, and I think that'll take care of it. So that's what we're going to do. And like I said, plans change sometime as you go, and we got plenty of depth. I actually left this one wider than the other one, and I just went just enough to clean it up, because I just wanted to make sure that we had room to work with in there. So I think we can work with that. So we'll make one cam follower. We're going to weld this up and grind it, and we'll do the best job we can do on that. We'll try to get it up to 155, 160 thousandths lift, and then we'll build us a lifter guide and use a lifter, and then I don't know, like I said, there's not much room to make it adjustable in there, so we probably just won't do that. And we can what you can do basically, if we make it where the lifter comes out from the top, you won't have to pull this cover off. You pull the intake off, the intake valve out, and then you can actually take the exhaust valve up through, and then you'll be able to pick up on the lifter and take it out. And that wouldn't take but just a couple of minutes to get out. Grind it, do whatever you need to do, and like I said, you could cut the seat lower to get it to come down a little bit, but we can get it right. We're not going to run it enough to really wear it out anyway, so we'll work with that and see what we can do, and I'll come up with a lobe for the for the crankshaft to run us a set of points, and we'll come up with a set of points. I'm bound to have something around here, and we'll just keep at it, and I think it'll work out just fine. Alright, appreciate everybody watching. Till next time, bye. Alright folks, winner of the hammer is going to be Crazy Bakes Garage. Just message me and give me an address, and we'll get this thing shipped off to you. Alright, Appreciate everybody playing.